Ugh, finally done with that assignment. Seriously, why do us division chiefs get stuck with abrasive grunt work at times? At least I could rest my head at my desk for a while. Oh, my comfy, cozy little office. Oh, that was just her entering the office. I thought someone was entering to see her or something. At least I know I can get some rest here for a bit. It's late and I really don't want to be driving right now. Why is my pager lit up? Son of a bitch, are you serious? The hell? The message on my page is from Mikey. Julia, the situation at the forest. Okay, this wasn't even a flashback. I thought it was for a minute. Julia, situation at the forest on the northeast side of town. Sayori is there, and I'm going. Make sure to keep her safe when she gets home. Is this idiot really going to do what I think he is? I throw myself out of the seat and start to dash out of the building to my car. Reaching my car, I quickly get into the driver's seat while dialing Mikey's number. No answer, just his voicemail. I seriously hope he is okay. Lately, he has been constantly looking for his girlfriend, and he's gone to some very unnecessary lengths, which are endangering his own life without the concern for others. Granted, I don't question what he does outside of the company as long as it doesn't leak anything. But he's going to a length that Ashley and I were only afraid of. My stomach feeling queasy, I try to call Mikey's commissioned phone one more time. But once again, I am directed to his voicemail, which skyrockets my fears. He absolutely never ignores calls from his commissioned phone, so he is either hurt or worse. I pull out of the parking lot and onto a main roadway that leads into town. Realizing that Monica is involved, I try to locate her number in my phone. I remember that Mikey repeated her number to me when I requested it after she was hospitalized. Maybe I could call her and find out what exactly is happening down there. Looking through my call logs, I eventually locate Monica's number and give her the call. Hello? Monica, this is Julia. Where are you? Julia? I'm on my way to Sayori's house. I was in the forest because the people who kidnapped her called me and said if I didn't come, they would kill her. What about Mikey? Where is he? I don't know. He met up with me and then he ran into the forest after Sayori. I started to run away after he left. He said to get to our house and call the police. Where in the forest did you see him run off to? I can't remember. I was too scared and dazed to really notice specifically. Damn it. Listen, Sayori's house is right next to Mikey's. Instead of going to her house, I want you to head to his, and I will meet you there. I will call the police, and we will get officers out there to help find Sayori and Mikey. Right, I understand. How long until you get there? About 15 minutes. I'm on the road into town right now. Thank you. Be safe, Monica. I end the call and start to accelerate faster down the road. The growl of the engine grows louder and louder as my speed increases. I'm hoping for the best, that Mikey and Sayori are safe. Throughout the last week, both of us have learned that the group that abducted Sayori is very organized and ruthless. They will not hesitate to do horrible things to her, especially since Mikey is now involved. And if something happens to Sayori, then images of what Mikey is capable of flash through my mind in horror. But even worse images flash into my mind of what I could find when we do find him. Ugh. A sick feeling starts to develop in my stomach, but I try to swallow the saliva in my mouth and keep going. I walk around the bend of the sidewalk that leads me to Mikey and Sayori Street. The ominously dark night makes me all the more terrified. I really hope that they are okay. My fears have been eating at my mind since I left the forest against my will. While I understand why Mikey forced me to leave, I still wish I could have helped him in some way. Oh, so this is Monica. Okay, I thought Julia was here. I couldn't do anything but watch as my friend was being hurt in front of me and nearly dying myself. Back before Mikey and the other girls joined the club, I had been very lonely, and I don't want to lose them. Huh? Uh-oh. I think I heard something behind me. Looking over my shoulder, I don't see anything or anyone around. Maybe a car that drove down the street opposite of me, but nothing really of importance. Well, I guess the events of tonight are still making me super paranoid. A pair of hands wrap around my waist and immediately start to lift me up? What the... Oh, jeez. Hey, get off of me! Oh, God. I start to bang my fist against the hands and arms that are restricting me, but nothing works. They keep trying to lift me up. The person's breath wafts against the back of my neck. Still trying to frantically get away from my captor, I swing my elbow backward, trying to make contact with their head. A sudden pain shoots through my forearm as my elbow strikes something hard. Oh. The hands around my waist release me and I fall to the ground. Clutching at my elbow and turning onto my back, I see a middle-aged man in similar clothing to the guys who were holding Sayori at the forest. This is one of those guys. Gasping, I try to crawl backward away from him. His eyes make contact with mine and immediately give me a "you're going to pay for that" look. My stomach drops and I try to crawl away much quicker. He starts to walk up towards me. What do? Help me! I start to scream as loudly as I can into the night sky, hoping someone would come looking to see this. His eyes bulge out of his head and he looks around in a panic. Why'd you have to scream? Why wouldn't she scream? I'll just make this quick then. He walks over to me, grabs my foot, and aggressively pulls me toward him. I continue to scream as loud as I can, kicking my other foot at his hand. Just trying everything I can to get away. But as his face gets close to mine again, arms wrap around his neck, and he is pulled up and off of me. Huh? Go. A tall black silhouetted figure holds the man in their arms. They both move backward until a streetlight reveals my savior. A tall blonde woman in a black form-fitting suit has the man who is attacking me in a headlock. His back is locked upwards and he squirms around in their hands. Julia! She doesn't respond. She drags the man over to a car that is parked on the other side of a shrub, perfectly concealing it from our view, and slams his head against the hood. A sound that I never thought I'd want to hear comes from the man's head. After that, his body goes limp and Julia kicks it to the side. She walks over to me quickly and helps me up. Julia! Who the fuck would just do this? Julia! You saved me! Sweetheart, you okay? She quickly checks up and down my arms and body for obvious injuries. I nod my head and immediately feel tears burn at my eyes. She pats my shoulder and turns and looks around. Sorry I wasn't a minute earlier. I'm just grateful you showed up at all. What is going to happen to him? The police are on their way. They already know what is going on, so he will be taken into custody. Right. Now hurry and get to Mikey's house. Here's his key. Julia hands me a small copper-colored key and turns away from me. I'll pull my car up to the driveway and make sure the officers find this piece of shit here. Got it. Closing the door behind me and turning on the light, I lean on the wall and sigh. This is all so tiring. I can only imagine how Sayori and Mikey are feeling right now. I make my way over to the couch in the living room and sit down. Only now do I realize my hands are shaking. The front door opens and closes. Julia approaches me. She has a seat across from me and looks into my eyes warmly. You okay? Yeah, just a little shaken up. Of course you are. This isn't something that normally happens to people. It's only natural to be scared and in some degree of shock. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me everything about what happened earlier? Yeah, I can. I clear my throat and explain what happened regarding the call and the meeting at the forest. Through the entire thing, Julia's eyes are coldly professional, almost like Mikey's. As I finish, she looks back and purses her lips, like what I told her scared her. Maybe I shouldn't have said as much as I did. Thank you for all of this. I'll tell everything to the officers. Just rest up in here. You're too exhausted to really keep going through this. Will do. Thank you. Monica leans her head back onto the couch. I watch her from the reflection on the silver pot. Alright, so now we're Julia. To see such a young girl involved in something like this, it breaks my heart. But not as much as knowing that someone I have always considered a son or nephew is directly in the middle of it. When all he wanted was to come to this city and live a normal life, but was never actually able to escape the chaos he was born in. When I heard he did want a normal life, it made me chuckle inside. It's such a pure and innocent thing to desire. But in our field, once you're in, you won't get out unless you die. Jeez. And Mikey knows this very well. My phone vibrates, startling me out of my thoughts. Looking at the text message, it's a confirmation that the police have been dispatched to the forest and were briefed. And one other officer is coming by to take care of the guy that I now have zip tied on the road. For now, I am going to stay by Monica to make sure she's safe. Alright, let's take a rest here. Sayori's breathing is labored, and she keeps placing her hands onto her back. The poor girl has been walking for almost a straight hour, and she hasn't complained once about the pain in her leg or how tired she is. She really is a trooper. However, at the same time, she can't keep going like this. This forest is massive, and I don't think we're close to the border of it yet. The most I can do for now is let her rest for a bit. You doing okay? Yeah, just a little tired. Sit down for a while. I motion to a nearby rock and that looks comfortable enough for her to sit on. I'm okay. Listen to me, you're going to sit down and rest. Oh, alright. I take her hand into mine and guide her to the rock and help her sit down. She looks at me with her sparkly blue eyes and smiles. Thank you for caring for me. Don't mention it. You aren't really conditioned to be as active as we were tonight. But nevertheless, I am proud that you are holding up. Really? Of course. Sayori has been holding back her tears ever since I first met up with her earlier. She is scared, she's in pain, and she is barely able to hold in any anxiety she is feeling. But her composure throughout all this makes me respect her even more. I never would have expected a girl like Sayori to be able to, I guess, really steal her resolve despite the circumstances. I pat her gently on the shoulder and look into her eyes. She rests her arms on her legs and leans forward. Gently rubbing my hand on her back, I try to offer her words of encouragement. Just rest for a bit, Sayori. I'm sorry I'm so slow. Don't apologize for that. You're doing great. We're almost out of here. Once you're ready to go, we will make it this last stretch. Do you really think we can get out of here? I wouldn't be sitting here with you while you were too tired to move if I didn't. Just sit here for a moment. I'm going to try and see if I have a signal to call someone. Okay. Lifting my hand up and off her back, I grab my commissioned phone from my pocket and check the signal. None. Well, this is just peachy. Without signal, I can't contact Julia about what is going on. I hope to God that she got my page earlier. I know I gave her a hard time, but I do come to trust her at times like this. But one of my concerns is if she trusts me. But that's another story for another time. Right now, my only focus is to get Sayori out of this godforsaken forest. Wait a second, I hear sirens. Oh. I immediately look back to Sayori. Her eyes meet with mine with relieved elation. We're close enough to the border of the forest that we can hear the sirens as they approach. If we can reach the road in time, we can get to help. What? You think you could keep going now? Of course, let's go. Sayori stands up and starts to walk quickly toward the sound. I decide to stay right behind her, just in case there is anyone behind who wants to stop us from getting out. I stay silent and keep listening to the sirens as they get closer. It sounds as if they are going to the main entrance of the forest. There is a bunch of campsites there where a majority of people congregate. As long as I can get Sayori to an officer, she can explain everything that has happened. Both of us can get our wounds tended to, and we can finally end this nightmare. Hey. Back to Julia. My phone goes off, startling me out of my thought-filled gaze. Or daze, not gaze. My thumb hesitates to press the answer button because there is one of two reasons I am receiving this call right now. Either Mikey and Sayori have been found safe, or they have been found dead. Jeez. Just the lighter crossing my mind is enough to make my stomach drop in anxiety. Mustering up the courage to press the answer button, I bring the phone to my ear. Ma'am? What is it? 4219 and the girl have been found. Is that my code name? They have? Where are they? They're being taken to the hospital currently. They both were found with serious injuries that required immediate attention. That's fine. What were you able to gather from the situation? Well, ma'am, I have a total of 12 bodies being taken to the medical examiner's office. Several others have been detained and are en route to the field office downtown. Good. I'll be heading to the hospital shortly. Wrap everything up there, and I'll get on the report tomorrow. Actually, ma'am, don't worry about the report. I can take care of that for you. You have more pressing matters to attend to tonight. Thank you, Mayuki. Mayuki? I owe you lunch for this. You're very welcome, man. I end the call and turn to Monica, who is looking at me anxiously and awaiting any piece of information. You be able to move? Yeah, why? We're going to the hospital.